Guys are always asking, what am I not seeing? What is wrong with me? Why do some guys appear to have the Midas touch when it comes to women, while others appear to have the inverse effect? And the truth is that once you realize this, no girl who has even a passing interest in you will abandon you, and they will no longer be able to withstand you. So, with that said, let's take a look inside your thoughts. Our mind is at the heart of everything we do, every choice we make, and every emotion we feel within ourselves. And that is literally the only distinction between the guy who is impossible to resist and the guy who is always frustrated. It's not flashy cars, it's not a lot of money, and it's not something like being a celebrity. The only difference between these two men is what is going on inside their heads. The guys who volunteered themselves aboard a massive rocket that was going to launch to go to the moon were doubting themselves. But even these brave men needed to be certain that A, the rocket would take them to the moon, and B, it would return them safely. You see, insecurity is at the root of every idiotic behavior we men engage in. And one thing you should know about feelings of inadequacy is that it is never alone. Insecurity breeds self-doubt, loss of faith, and a slew of other negative emotions that you don't want in your head. And insecurity is a Trojan horse within your mind, and the moment you let it in, it will begin to destroy you from within. As men, we are built to be strong, and our minds are built to be free of vulnerability and insecurity. And the only difference between the guy girls can't get enough of and the guy who's always just sitting on the bench and never gets what he wants is their minds. But more importantly, it is related to the Trojan horse that has been hiding inside of it. This metaphorical table of insecurity now has a few different legs. And once you've destroyed each leg one by one, both your mind and your body will be forever altered. Starting with the most important, self-image. Many of us feel insecure about our own self-image because we believe, well, we don't look good enough. The good news is that improving your self-image is simple and involves simple things like dressing better, going to the gym, and taking better care of yourself in general. However, self-image also entails not sweating the small stuff. We can't change the shape of our ears or anything else for you, unless you get surgery. Next, inferiority. Feelings of inferiority are far by one of the most potent things that can cause us to distrust others and thus give this Trojan horse much more power over us than it should. But how should you stop feeling inadequate? The best way to stop feeling inferior is to stop comparing yourself to others and instead compare yourself to who you are now versus who you were before, rather than to others. Another powerful trick for relieving feelings of inferiority is to recognize that things are not always as they appear, and the person you believe who has it all also has their own troubles, uncertainties, and flaws. With feelings of inferiority often comes a distorted image of other people in our heads. And as you know, a person's worth cannot be determined by a single characteristic, because as humans, we assess worth based on the whole person. So the next time you feel inferior, remember that things are rarely as they appear. So the guy you think is better looking than you, or better at whatever it is, the truth is that the grass on the other side is almost never as green as you think, and remembering this will make you feel less inferior. And then there's self-confidence. If you look at any guy who grows on a regular basis, you will notice that a lack of confidence is at the root of almost all of his problems. And confidence is a funny thing because it creates a self-fulfilling prophecy for almost everything we do. Because if you don't believe in your abilities, others will pick up on it and react negatively. When they do this, it reinforces your own belief that you are incapable of doing something, and this basically creates an endless cycle that completely undermines your confidence. So how do you repair that? Self-esteem is a skill that can be learned quickly in such a way that it is simple to become wealthy. The roadmap that will lead you to the confidence you require is very simple to follow. Following the map and taking the first step on that journey, however, is where most people fail. Lastly, rejection. Most of our issues with rejection stem from our early childhood, when we were most vulnerable and our psyche was most open to suggestions. Think about when you were little, everyone around you who was supposed to be encouraging you, your parents, your siblings. Imagine if all these people were actually dismissing you and making you feel inadequate. As you progress, you get older, you begin to believe that you aren't good enough and that there is something wrong with you. And many of the beliefs we hold about ourselves are completely false. However, because they were implanted in our minds and it went on for a while we were too young to even resist them, our lives have been changed dramatically as we get older as a result of this, unless we choose to do otherwise. Fear or rejection is one of the most difficult things to overcome if you want to become a more irresistible dude. Well, knowing why you fear rejection is useful, it is far more crucial to concentrate on simply getting over that fear. And as with most aspects of insecurity, overcoming a fear of rejection, improving your self-confidence, and eliminating the Trojan horse of insecurity within your own head is your own doing. You must look within yourself to determine what is causing you to be so self-conscious around other people. Then you must repair it. However, what really makes you feel extremely insecure around other people is that, well, you're terrible at conversation and you need to talk to people more. If the majority of your insecurity stems from being skinny or feeling weak or small, then you have to go to the gym and get stronger. Getting rid of insecurity at the core is an elimination process, which is basically the process of methodically tracking down your weaknesses and insecurities one by one, and ultimately confronting the fear that is preventing you from conquering them. Once you realize this, most girls will find it extremely difficult to resist you. Thanks for watching. If you like our stuff, subscribe for more motivational content. See you in the next video of The Generous.